friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, I'm Vanessa Somuayina and welcome to the fam. So as per your request, I am filming weekly predictions. So today's reading is all about your upcoming week. So we're talking about August 31st up until September 7th. And today's groups are a little different. So each group represents a crystal as well as the core meaning of that crystal. So while I would like you to pick your crystal and your group intuitively, I would also like you to connect with their individual meanings and messages and pick whichever one that you feel like you need at this point in time. So the 5 groups that you can choose from in today's pick a card reading are as follows. We have the Citrine, Bring in the Light. We have the pink Opal, Be Kind to Yourself. We have the golden healer Quartz, Open the Door. We have the Turquoise, Prioritize Your Health, as well as the Epidote, Go Deeper. So the timestamps to all 5 groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section for quick and easy access from your mobile devices. And if you're looking to resolve a really specific and personal issue, feel free to check out the link to where you can find my personal readings down below. It's linked in the description box and will forward you to my website where everything is explained as to how you can receive a personal reading. So I don't want to spend too much time within the intro. I'd rather give you more info on what's happening for you in your upcoming week. So I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Citrine, and to all of my other gorgeous groups. I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Citrine, group number 1. Let me do a quick close-up for you. So this is the gem, well, the card of the gem that you chose. It's all about bringing in the light. Furthermore, the Citrine is also a stone that attracts abundance as well as material wealth. And we're going to be building around that. We're going to be figuring out exactly what's coming for you next week. First and foremost, we have the Page of Water. So the Page of Water is somebody who is emotional, maybe a little bit naive, but they love to pour their heart out. And they're the type of person who is honest and just kind of straightforward with their emotions. It's very hard for them to hide how they feel. It's difficult for them to keep their emotions to themselves. And that is one thing that is kind of like the plus as well as the minus about them. It can be difficult to deal with them because they can be very emotional, and at the same time it can be a really beneficial factor when you're wondering what they're thinking or what it is that they're going through. So in correspondence to the Citrine, I see that this Page of Water person is somebody who is going to bring in more light into your life. So this could be someone that just makes your day feel better, that just makes your week overall feel more manageable, and who you can talk to and not feel judged by, which is so important. Then we have the 8 of Water. So far we have a lot of water energy, don't we? In the 8 of Water, I see here infinite potential to make next week really fabulous and amazing, group number 1. And furthermore, I also do see a lot of kind of emotional treasures coming to the surface. Now you may ask yourself, what are emotional treasures? So by emotional treasures, I mean feelings that are really sacred, that are popping up during times where you would maybe usually fall into a routine. So maybe on your way to work or doing your yoga or meditation practice, you maybe have a type of routine or a expectation as to what experience you will receive, what experience you will be a part of. But I see emotional treasures coming up as in you having this overwhelming feeling of joy, gratitude, maybe even feeling like crying because you're so grateful and so happy, and just being in a place where you can really enjoy your emotions next week. Then we have the 3 of Water. Wow, group number 1, more water energy. So one thing about this water energy in correlation to the 3 of Water that I see here is that it could have to do with the fact that on the 2nd of September, we have the full moon in Pisces, which is a very, very compassionate type of time. It's a time of empathy. It's a time of deep understanding. So understanding other people as well as being understood. And this full moon in Pisces situation is a situation where you're able to kind of deal with any emotional loose ends that are still lingering. But in correlation to the Three of Water, it's also a time to just have fun, to let loose, and to enjoy your relationships and everybody who you have an emotional relationship with. Then we have the Nine of Air. So the Nine of Air is breaking up all of this water sign energy, which can sometimes be a lot and very emotional, okay? So you being in a very sensitive place next week, but in correspondence to the Nine of Air, I really do also see a part of you that is highly logical, that is in a place where you're very fixated on keeping things real, keeping things in a place where you're not letting emotions take over. So on the 5th of September, we have Mercury entering Libra, which is a time to just be more balanced. It is a time to remind yourself of what is important and what is like a little bit much. But also do know that on the 6th of September, we have Venus entering Leo, I believe. And Venus entering Leo is a time of a lot of sensuality, okay? It's a time where you may feel like actually giving in to that booty call, to that person that has been calling you up. So know that next week, the weekend, may really tempt you to get physical, sensual, and do the sex with somebody. So I'm saying it like that, not because I'm uncomfortable, but because you know how censorship can sometimes be on this platform, group number 1. Then we have the pig spirit as well as the skunk spirit. So your guides are nevertheless in the skunk spirit, trying to remind you to know your worth. So while emotions may run into a place where you want to be close to somebody physically, you maybe want to engage in that physical sensation and that physical experience, still keep your worth high and where it's meant to be. Don't give in just because of your instinct to want to experience kind of like bodily physical contact with somebody, okay? I see here in the pig spirit that you're being called to use your mind wisely and just use your time and your emotions very wisely. Don't let somebody into your space just because there are feelings of lust there. Make sure that you're letting people into your space who you know respect you, respect your space, your body, and aren't just there because the opportunity has arisen, but because they also do have a fundamental liking, respect, and understanding of who you are. So it's okay to give in to somebody who you feel attracted to and you know there's a connection there, but don't be somebody's booty call. Don't let like an ex or somebody who you know is a toxic person towards you to creep their way back in just because you're emotionally very open and running a little bit high. Then we have the waning gibbous 2, which is all about pleasure, and the waning crescent 1. So again, protecting yourself is really important. That is one thing that I see in the waning crescent 1. Your guides, the spirits, they want you to protect yourself even though pleasure is at the forefront next week, okay? So even though you may want to engage in pleasure, be a part of pleasurable activities and experiences, whether it's with somebody else or you're currently celibate or just trying to explore your body by yourself. I see here that it's so important for you to focus on the aspect of still keeping your value where it's meant to be, of still loving yourself enough to not just allow anybody into that sacred space, and to rather just explore your body alone than let somebody in who doesn't cherish it or appreciate it as much as they really should. Then we have look for fairies. So looking for fairies is all about looking for the supernatural, looking for the things that a lot of people say is just not real, things that aren't real to mainstream society, but there's no proof that it doesn't still exist, right? Just like the different theories on like extraterrestrial beings, the different theories when it comes to just overall fairies, fairy tale type of things. It's important for you to keep in mind that just because we haven't seen it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist somewhere in the universe, or that it doesn't exist in this world or has never existed in this world, because chances are there may have been life or just some sort of beings that we don't know of that have either crossed paths paths with us on this planet at an earlier point in time, or even while you and I have been here, or that are just overall closer than we think that they are in the universe, somewhere in space and time. So allowing yourself maybe to even delve into some documentaries, look into what other forms of life that there may be. I see a lot of interesting revelations and just thought processes that come up for you. Then we have hydrate. So group number 1, if you're dehydrated, pause the video right here, get yourself a glass of water. Don't forget to comment a little water drop emoji down below in the comment section to let me know that that's what you did, that you're staying hydrated. For some reason, your guides have put this card into your reading to remind you how important it is for your bodily functions, for your own health, both mentally and physically, to stay hydrated and to make sure that you're nourishing your body, not only with adequate food, but also adequate amounts of hydration, because it can be so easy to forget to drink enough and to keep yourself in good spirits through hydration. So you can prevent things such as headaches, such as fatigue, and just overall feeling a little everywhere with your emotions. It can really help calm you when you're properly hydrated. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you. I would like to thank you for sharing this sacred space with me today and allowing me to guide you for your upcoming week, into your upcoming week, wherever you are in this world. Know that I'm so grateful to have connected with you, and I can't wait to see you in one of my other videos. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the pink opal group number 2, which is such a gorgeous gem in form of this card to have chosen. I'm still waiting to get a pink opal for my collection. It is a fairly rare stone, and it corresponds and correlates to being kind to yourself. So group number 2, for some reason, you felt drawn to this. You felt drawn to this message and to the notion of being kind or kinder to yourself. If you feel as though you haven't been in a good place with the most important relationship in your life, which is the relationship that you foster with yourself. So let's figure out what's coming for you next week in correlation to the pink opal and being kind to yourself. So we have the 5 of fire. The 5 of fire, I see some conflict there. I see some passion to wanting to finally love yourself and be kind to yourself, but then also a point of contention, a point of conflict that is almost like a hurdle that is too difficult for you to overcome, or has been too difficult up until this point. So that is where I see you next week, kind of struggling a little bit, group number 2, overcoming those challenges and hurdles to finally moving into a place where you can go with the flow, love yourself, and start just gently taking on new challenges and gently getting to know yourself for who you are day by day. And then we have the 8 of air. So in the 8 of air, I see here that there are certain things that you're still holding against yourself. So that could be, for instance, being in a toxic relationship for longer than you know you should have been, or staying in contact with people who don't value or cherish you, maybe even taking a job or delving into studies that don't honor you as a person, that you don't really resonate with, that you took it because of societal pressures or because you just needed the money. Now, okay, we have another card wanting to speak, but let's just finish off here with the 8 of air. So it's very important for you in correspondence to the pink opal and being kind to yourself to know that it is human to make mistakes. And when you look around, even when you're watching this video, looking at me, I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes too. I have been in friendships or relationships that I know I should have removed myself from at an earlier point, but for whatever reason, I wasn't able to do that. And it is so easy to beat yourself up and say that you wasted all this time working a job that you didn't like, or being in contact with people who didn't appreciate you or didn't allow you to be yourself. But at the end of the day, we all do it, okay? And in order to know better, you have to experience. In order to know better, you have to have been put in those situations. There is no book, no person that can explain ahead of time what exactly you need to do in these situations and what those feelings are that are red flags. You have to really experience them to know at a later point that, oh, these are red flags. These are things that I'm trying to avoid. So don't beat yourself up for it. Be proud of yourselves that you came out the other end wiser and stronger. So moving further in, we have love. Group number 2, there is love in the air for you next week. Accept it, be happy to receive it, don't push it away. So love from yourself, which is so important, but also love in general that could be romantic and from somebody who you've always wanted to receive more love from. So this could even be a partner. I mean, long-term relationships aren't perfect. You go through ups and downs, and next week is a great week for fire to be kind of ignited again. And I want you to know that on the 6th of September, we have Venus entering Leo, which is a time for that physical romance, if you know what I mean, which is a time for sensuality. So engage in that and know that if you feel a bit more lusty, if you feel a little bit more like getting it on, that is most likely why. And furthermore, another piece of information, the 2nd of September is the full moon, and it's a full moon that is very compassionate. It is the full moon in Pisces. So mark that date down in order to write things into your journal, in order to work on things that you want to let go of, beliefs, old beliefs. Then we have the 2 of air next. So we have some air sign energy here, which is all about still kind of staying logical and making decisions. So in the 2 of air, I definitely see here that the upcoming week is a week where you just have to finally decide where you're going and what you're doing. But I do also want you to know here that on the 5th of September, we have, I believe it's Mercury entering Libra, and it is a very harmonious type of constellation. It's a very harmonious type of time where being kind to yourself and making decisions based on self-love is really what you should be doing next week, okay? Especially towards the middle to end of the week. So make decisions based on what your heart desires, not just logic. So you have to make decisions, but instead of feeling like you're kind of like a robot having to just get on with life, even though you're maybe mentally not ready and what you really need is some time to recuperate, some mental health days, know that just making decisions according to your heart's desires is the best way for you to balance responsibilities as well as going through a time where maybe you don't want to handle those responsibilities. Then we have the koi fish spirit, as well as the cow spirit. So I personally really love cows. I think they're such gentle giants, such beautiful beings. So I want you to know here in the cow spirit that this is a very sacred animal spirit that has shown up in your reading for your upcoming week. This is an animal spirit that is here to communicate that there is enough here for you. And the koi fish spirit is very similar to that. The koi fish spirit is all about communicating to you that there's always enough, that the resources are plenty, and to move away from any type of feeling or thinking of scarcity, especially in correlation to abundance as well as finances, money, love. There is enough for all of us to be wealthy. There is enough for all of us to be emotionally wealthy as well as in a material kind of way. It's just the way it's been kind of shared amongst people, the way it's been, what is that word? You know what I mean. There are just a lot of wealth divides, but that doesn't mean that there isn't enough here. It just means that the way it's been divided up is not exactly fair, but you are most likely in a position, if you're watching this video, to be able to get yourself out of any type of negative cycles when it comes to wealth, and you are most likely able to build something. If you have access to internet, to a mobile device, you can build a whole business off of that. So keep in mind how lucky you are and how much opportunity is here for you. Then we have the hot moon. So the hot moon is all about that sensuality. So don't be afraid to be alone with yourself. Spend a little bit of, time for yourself, by yourself, loving yourself, as well as if you are in a committed relationship or if you have somebody that you want to share physical romance with, allow that to be next week and allow yourself to try new things and really enjoy it to the fullest. Really just drop into that feeling of love, affection, and also sensuality. Then we have the waxing gibbous one. So in the waxing gibbous one, you're being called to be discerning, nevertheless. So to not see things through rose-colored glasses, but instead to discern between what is really meant for you and what is maybe not the best thing for you to have in your life right now. So that could be the answer that you receive once you've been able to just explore your body and somebody else's body. You may then really be able to discern, okay, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. Then we have the waxing crescent 2 as well as the egg moon. So if you made it all the way to this point in your reading, group number 2, leave a little egg down below in the comment section to let me know, because you did receive the egg moon, and the egg moon is all about trust. So allow yourself to fully enjoy your relationships, be it platonic, romantic, whether they're relationships that are physical or not. Trust that you are where you need to be in your life and with your relationships. I see here in the waxing crescent 2 that next week is really all about not only being kind to yourself, but also kind to others and accepting of their shortcomings and their imperfections. So keep in mind that a big part of being a human is to be accepting of other beings. That is what makes us different, that we are capable of feeling compassion and empathy. So live that truth and be kind to yourself, to others, forgive and accept mistakes both ways. Okay, group number 2 next week is a week of just kindness. So let that be your mantra and let that infuse every step of the way and every decision that you make. So group number 2, thank you so much for sharing this space with me today. I'm so grateful to be able to guide you into your next week. I hope you're doing amazing and staying safe, and I will see you in one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Golden Healer Quartz, group number 3. Let me show you close up what this card looks like. So the Golden Healer Quartz is a stone that is kind of trying to call you to open the door to opportunity. And there's a reason why you felt drawn to this stone. There's a reason why this is the card that is going to be guiding you through your upcoming week. And we are going to delve into exactly why you felt drawn to the Golden Healer Quartz. So let's get into it, shall we? First and foremost, we have the 6 of water. So in the 6 of water, I see here emotional contentment and balance. So when it comes to your relationships, you're in a place where it's just like, it is how it is. So if you're not really happy with somebody, not much is going to change. If you're really happy in certain relationships, they're going to continue on that happy streak. So that is where I see stability for you and just overall contentment in your upcoming week. Then we have the Page of Water. So the Page of Water is somebody who is very connected to water, may have a lot of water sign energy within their birth chart, and this is the type of person that can teach you so much through childlike wonderment. So through being adventurous, compassionate, and just having a very open mind. That is the type of quality that I see in you, as well as in the person that is going to have the biggest impact on you next week. So look out for those water signs. It may even be me. I'm a Cancerian. It could also be, for instance, your mother, a best friend, somebody whose book you're reading. And oh, okay, we have another card. We have one more. As I was saying, somebody's book who you're reading and really has an impact on you. So the card that just popped right out of the pile is the 9 of water. The 9 of water, again, speaks to that emotional contentment, that emotional happiness, and just overall feeling as though things are going well. One thing that I do notice within your reading so far is that we've only gotten water energy out of this tarot deck. So we had the Page of Water, the 6 of water, as well as the 9 of water. So that water sign energy is running high for you. And this is really interesting in correlation to the Golden Healer Quartz, because opening the door is often something that we have to do on an emotional level, right? Opening the door to possibility is often something that we have to decide and kind of flick the switch to, in order to allow that to even happen and to be an occurrence in our lives. Then we have the 4 of air next. So the 4 of air is kind of breaking it up. In the 4 of air, one thing that I do see here is a little bit of a feeling of not knowing who to speak to. So I want you to know here that on the 2nd of September, we have the full moon happening in Pisces, and the full moon in Pisces is a very compassionate type of full moon. It is a full moon that is filled with empathy and understanding. So if you just reach out to that water sign, if you just allow yourself to lean on somebody who you know is emotionally intelligent and will be able to speak to you in a kind and understanding way, then that is where you can get that support from, instead of kind of feeling alone and like you don't have anybody to explain your situation to. Then we have the 6 of Earth. So one thing that I see here in the 6 of Earth is, again, this type of sense of stability. The number 6 is a favorable number. It is a number that shows that things are moving in a good direction, in a direction that has orientation, that is goal oriented, but at the same time you don't feel stressed out. So that is what I see in your career, especially if things are a little bit difficult for you right now when it comes to your job, when it comes to money in general. I just want you to know that this is a time where it's important for you to stay chill, to stay relaxed, and to know that you're not the only one who's going through this. A lot of people, millions of people in this world are struggling. So try and connect with others who are going through the same thing, or at least allow yourself to feel supported through the fact that I feel you. Millions of other people feel you. We're all going through it. We're all trying to kind of do our best to stay in a good place mentally as well as financially, with our job, with our businesses, especially small businesses. This is something that I completely relate to and understand because I own my own business, and I definitely feel this. You know, I definitely feel how the current economic situation is affecting everything. So allow yourself to connect through that, and to connect through the fact that, you know, so many others are going through it, and we just need to be supportive of one another, and we just need to make sure that we keep our spirits high, and that we remind ourselves, like, if a week goes by that is pretty stable, where not that much changes, that's already good, as long as nothing is changing for the worst. Let's just celebrate that, especially in this crazy year. Then next up, we have the Nightingale spirit. So in the Nightingale spirit, I see here that love is something that is all around you. Love is something that you can draw more energy from, group number 3. So allow yourself to embrace the people who love you, as well as embrace the love that you share for others. It would be very much helpful to you next week to tell somebody how much you love them, tell somebody how much you care about them, especially if it makes you cringe just thinking about it. Engage in that type of exercise to just loosen you up a little bit when it comes to being honest and expressing your emotions. Also know that on the 6th of September, we have Venus entering Leo, I believe, which is a time of kind of very sensual tension. So this may also be why the Nightingale spirit showed up with this message of love being all around you, and just being able to embrace it and not judge yourself for maybe having some more urges next week. And then we have the Frog spirit. So the Frog spirit is all about clearing out any clutter that you have. So mental and emotional clutter is one thing that I see that is being spoken about here. And in correlation to the 5th of September, where we have Mercury entering Libra, this is a time that is more or less about just finding that balance between what you need and what you're just keeping around just in case. So this could be people, this could be something that you wanted to create with, you know, a DIY project where you have all of the little bits, pieces, and parts that you just never got around to starting it. Or maybe you have some pictures, some mirrors that are just sitting around in your space. You wanted to hang those up, you never got around to doing it, right? So it's important for you to either do it or clean it out, get rid of it, group number 3. Then we have the Waxing Crescent 6, which is all about your path opening up, your path becoming clearer to you. So your life's path, the journey that you're on, and what it is that you're meant to do. So a lot of people feel like we're all gifted with something, and either you find your path or what you're meant to do, or you get to the end of your lifetime without ever having known what your life path was or what you were created to do in this world. But I feel as though many times we choose it. Most of the times we choose our path, And what we need to do is to just open up to the fact that our path is most likely a mixture of a lot of different things. So the traditional kind of academic system tells us to go down one type of path. Like for instance, if you feel like you're a healer, then you become a nurse or a doctor, right? But then you could be so much more than that. You could be a healer and you could really connect with music. So then that would be sound therapy. And while there are different jobs that would be able to equip you with the necessary certificates and so on that you need to make that your profession, it's still not really pushed, right? It's still not really out there the way just like these one path, one stop jobs are. So it's important for you to know that just because something isn't being pushed doesn't mean it's wrong. It doesn't mean that your path is too ambiguous to even have a name. You maybe just need to look into it and discover your path completely away from all of society's norms and from everything that, you know, the commercial job industry and academic planes have put out there for us, because they are designed to create people who work 9-to-5 jobs. That is what the academic system is designed to do, and maybe you're somebody who is not meant to be that traditional in many ways. Then we have the waning crescent 3. So in the waning crescent 3, I see here that you just need to surrender. So when all of those emotions are bubbling up, because boy do we have a lot of emotions here in this water energy, just surrender to them. Allow yourself to cry if you need to, allow yourself to scream if you need to journal really hideous thoughts and things, because at a later point you will be intrigued to look back and to see exactly what was running through your mind, what you were thinking, and just how the situation ended up turning out, how you were able to handle it. Documenting your emotions, especially in moments of surrendering, is a great thing for you to do for when you come to a difficult place in life again and you want to remind yourself of how well you can actually handle it, or how much goodness can come from something that first seems like it will just cause turmoil. Then we have take a walk, as well as make a meal. So I see here that for your upcoming week, it is essential for you to take walks out in nature, to spend a little bit of time out there in the fresh air, out there in the open. So not in the city jungle or anything like that, just the city jungle. Did I really say that, group member? I really said that. You get what I mean, the concrete jungle. But spend time out in the nature, in the greenery. Make sure that there's more green than gray wherever you are. And in making a meal, you know, just spending time nourishing your body, learning new recipes as well as new ingredients that you want to incorporate and use in order to make sure that you're staying healthy and you're taking care of your body's needs. That is one thing that I see that you can benefit from and would have a very therapeutic effect on you, and most likely be a great way to just incorporate pleasure from food with pleasure that is coming towards you physically with Venus moving into Leo on the 6th of September. So all of my gorgeous group number 3s, if you made it to the end of this reading, leave a little frog emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. And I'm just so excited to be able to help you prepare for your upcoming week and to have shared this sacred space with you. So I hope you have an amazing day or night whenever you're watching this video, and I will see you in one of my upcoming readings. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the turquoise group number 4, and honestly the turquoise is one of my personal faves. There we go. It is so beautiful. This is a stone, or a card representing this stone, that is all about prioritizing your health. So group number 4, if you've been slacking, nourishing your body the way you know that you should, you haven't been working out, you haven't been doing your yoga, your walking meditation, you're being called out, group number 4, but you most likely also need it in a certain sense. So first and foremost, we have the 10 of air that popped right out of this tarot deck. The 10 of air is all about coming to a place where you know it's time to evolve, to move forward, and to leave certain things, people, and aspects behind, okay? To take a leap of faith. I want you to know that on the 2nd of September, in case you haven't noted this down, put this in your itinerary or your schedule. We have the full moon in Pisces. This is a full moon that is calling you to be kind, compassionate, and caring towards yourself. So while you are moving away from old beliefs and people who have been holding you back, and also, oh, we have a card here that's upside down, and also forgiving yourself from being so harsh when it comes to judging who you are and your accomplishments, do so in the kindest possible way and prioritize your mental health. So not only prioritizing your health when it comes to moving, when it comes to nourishing your body, but also the way you speak to yourself. Then we have the Queen of Water. The Queen of Water just fits so perfectly into your reading group number 4. The Queen of Water is the queen of emotions, of being kind and nourishing at the same time, and giving you exactly what you need on an emotional level, giving you exactly what you need in order to feel good about yourself and in order to not judge yourself so much, okay? Not be so hard on yourself for mistakes that you've made or things that you feel you could have handled better or differently. So the Queen of Water is either this person that you're channeling into your life to help you with that, or the person that you are becoming next week for you. So you're kind of like becoming your own Queen of Water, your own mother figure, if you will, because it's sad but true that we don't always have mother figures that can be there for us, or for some reason they don't want to, or the possibility is just right now not given. And that is one thing that I want you to understand, group number 4, a lot of us are going through, and that doesn't mean that you can't nourish yourself and give yourself that feeling of warmth that a mother would give you or be able to give you in the most ideal situation. That is, as I said, not always given, but don't judge yourself for it. Then we have the Queen of Earth. So we have a lot of queen energy, and queen energy is discerning. It is, of course, strong, but it's not pushy, okay? It's very inviting. It's the type of energy that invites you to speak, invites you to say how it is that you feel, and invites you to give back to you, to give back to your most deepest and sacred self. And in correlation to the turquoise and the Queen of Earth, you're being called to give yourself things that you love of the material realm. So group number 4, you're maybe asking yourself, is she saying to treat myself? Is she saying to buy myself something nice or get myself a nice dinner, or those like expensive ingredients that I've always wanted to cook a fancy meal? Yes, group number 4. Okay, you have permission from your guides, from the universe to do so, to indulge in a way that makes you feel taken care of, that makes you feel mothered. And while, of course, material things can't fill a void, at least in the long term, sometimes that temporary sense of satisfaction is just what you need and just what hits the spot. Then we have the Magician next. So in the Magician, I want you to know here that we do have, nevertheless, a little bit of an intense energy here, and in correlation to Venus entering Leo on the 6th of September, it's important for you to know that that intense energy may come from you or somebody else initiating physical contact, being sensual, but you can also initiate that with yourself. Also, just for further information, on the 5th of September, we have Mercury entering Libra, I believe, and that is a time to kind of weigh your pros, your cons, to be balanced and to, in a way, be empathetic to, on one side, your needs, but also on the other side, your wants. So yes, allowing yourself to shop, allowing yourself to spend some money on yourself and treat yourself. Then next up, we have the Three of Earth. So in the Three of Earth, I see here that you need to celebrate that. So if you're, for instance, doing some online shopping, treating yourself with something, make it a real celebration. Like, get yourself a nice beverage, get yourself a snack, put on gentle music or any music you like, really, and light some candles. Make it a whole thing, a whole vibe, a whole destination, a whole journey from the moment you browse through an online shop or you think about what you want, you inform yourself about it, to the moment you've hit that button where you add it to the cart, you've paid, and you can just get excited for it to arrive at your house, or you can just get excited for the service to be provided to you. Allow yourself to make it something that you feel good about, so you have no buyer's regret. You're literally just enjoying and experiencing that moment of indulgence. Then we have the flamingo spirit, and in the flamingo spirit, one thing that I do see here is a little bit of this fear of being a little bit of like an imposter or a hypocrite. So maybe right now you don't have a job, or things have been really difficult in your career just financially, and it's hard for you to treat yourself because you don't want to make it seem as though you're spoiled, or you have this attitude of no gratitude where you're still treating yourself even though you shouldn't, because right now your job situation is weird, or you don't have a lot of money just in general. And that is where you have to embrace the in-between. Just because things financially aren't the best or aren't exactly how you dreamed that they would be, that doesn't mean that you can never do something for yourself. That doesn't mean that you don't deserve to also enjoy some of those fast-paced earthly rewards, right? Some of those quick gratification things that we just love, okay? Whether it's shopping for crystals or sustainable clothing, do so responsibly, but when you do, enjoy it, and don't feel like you shouldn't do so just because you're in a difficult situation with your job or because you don't know what's coming next. As long as you're not going completely crazy, indulging every now and then is right for you, okay? Indulging every now and then is okay, and don't make yourself feel bad about it. You're only human. You need some pleasures of the earthly realms as well. Then next up we have the antelope spirit. So in the antelope spirit, I see things speeding up. I see things moving very fast paced next week, as well as in a way also maybe being a little bit scared, so running away from certain responsibilities, group number 4. So prioritize your responsibilities that you know need to be done. Create a little to-do list, hang it on your fridge. That's one thing that I love to do for myself and my business, so that you can hold yourself accountable. It's even better if you have somebody look over it at the end of the week, where you can clearly say to them that you were able to accomplish what needed to be done. Then we have the waning crescent 4, which is all about releasing, okay? So releasing any feelings of guilt and just prioritizing being healthy, and also release guilt around earthly pleasures such as food, indulging in unhealthy treats and things like that, especially if you're somebody who has binge eating disorder or just overall you struggle with food. There's so many different ways that you can struggle with food. It's very important for you to just release those negative emotions and be intuitive about it. Give your body what it needs, and make sure that everything is coming from a place where there's love and compassion for yourself, and not just hatred and lust. So that is one thing where I see a bit of a difficulty, because on the 2nd of September we have the full moon in Pisces, which is compassionate and caring, and you do want to love. But then towards the end of your week, on the 6th of September, we have Venus moving into Leo, and that could be a time of lust. It could be a time of just wanting that quick instant gratification, especially a very sensual one. And when you're not able to get that, or when you're denied of it, your body can get very frustrated. You can mentally move into a space where it's easy to, just lash out on yourself or punish yourself with things such as food, or spending a lot more money than you know that you should. Maybe just overextending yourself on a credit card, a credit limit, where you know exactly this is more than self-care, this is actually harming me. So really keep an eye out for that, group number 4. There's a reason why you tuned into this reading and why this is one of the messages that you're receiving. So next up we have the hot moon, which is all about living between these extremes, living in the in-between. So know that while there is an extreme of being really frugal and then also spoiling yourself, giving yourself the things that you love, these are extremes, and you have to learn to live in between. So not on one side or the other, which I know can be very difficult for some people, also for myself. but just try, okay? Just be gentle and take it every day as it comes. Last but not least, we have the full moon, which is exactly what's coming towards you, group number 4. And I want you to know in the full moon that there is so much power within it, and it is a great time for release, like we have in the waning crescent 4. So by release, I mean, for instance, writing down in your journal just the things that you want to release. Make sure that you do that on the 2nd of September in order to harness the powers of this upcoming celestial event and to be able to make the most of it, to release all of those emotionally damaging bits and pieces of clutter that you just don't need, that just don't have a place in the upcoming month of your life. So engage in that and be committed to that, group number 4. So if you've made it to the end of your reading, leave a little full moon emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know. Thank you so much for sharing this sacred space with me today. I'm sending you so much love and light, and I'll see you in one of my other videos. Hello, group number 5, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Epidote, group number 5. Let's do a quick close-up, shall we? So the Epidote connects to the message of going deeper, and you chose the stone for a reason. And we're going to figure out exactly why and what effect this choice has on your upcoming week and what is coming towards you. So let's get right into it, group number 5. First and foremost, we have the Messenger of Fire. So in the Messenger of Fire, group number 5, one thing that I do see here is a lot of energy that is focused on action, on getting things done, and on going deeper, just as the Epidote suggests. So you're focused on getting to that point where you can go deeper, where you have relationships, where you can talk about quote-unquote difficult topics such as sensuality, such as finances, such as human rights and politics, and you're spearheading through that. You're the type of person who not only brings it up, but shows other people that it's okay to have an opinion and it's okay to share that opinion. We don't need to hide. We don't need to create these taboo topics, because while it may have traditionally been a taboo, that doesn't mean that we need to continue on with it, right? Because if there's one thing about tradition that we're coming to realize more than ever in the year of 2020 is that tradition doesn't prevail truth, as well as empathy, compassion, and what we as human beings feel in our hearts is right, okay? So just because it's been tradition for women not to be able to vote or have the same say, or just overall for people of different cultural and ethnic backgrounds to not have the same rights depending on where they live, tradition doesn't mean that it's good or that it's okay. We need to update things, and I see that here you're very innovative. You're the type of person who is not so in your face about it. You're the type of person who does it in a very smart way while still fighting for justice and the right cause. So that is one thing that I see here for you next week in going deeper with the Epidote as well as the Messenger of Fire. But group number 5, next up we have the Two of Fire. So far we have fire energy exclusively, and I want you to know that on the 6th of September we have Venus moving into Leo, which is again a very fiery event, and it is also an event that is very sensually charged. Okay, we had a little bit of a tongue twister there, but we got over it, group number 5. I want you to know in the Two of Fire that this calls for you to make up your mind as to what you want, okay? If you want to be with somebody, try and speak up, try and be real about it, try and go deeper in conversation with them. And if you're overall also just kind of wanting a bit more from somebody physically, okay? You want to have more fun, you want to explore things that you haven't explored with them that are maybe out of the norm or a little bit freaky, that's where you need to bring it up. That's where in the Two of Fire you need to decide to either remain silent or speak up and get what you desire and go deeper in every sense of the way in talking to them about what you want, as well as actually getting what you want and being able to go deeper intimately and on a kind of like physical plane with somebody else. Then we have the Four of Air next. So in the Four of Air, we have a little bit of conflicting energy that is very much embedded in this era of solitude. So I want you to know that on the 2nd of September, in case you haven't noted this, we have a full moon, and that full moon is happening in Pisces. The full moon in Pisces is a type of full moon that calls for you to tie up loose ends and be kind and compassionate towards yourself and other people. In correlation to the 4 of air, I see that this full moon is one that you might really struggle with, so don't be surprised if you have a nightmare on the 2nd of September, or you feel a little bit out of place, out of your zone, and you can't sleep very well. Falling asleep becomes difficult. You feel as though you're having this wave of insomnia. I want you to know, in correspondence to the 4 of air, that this is natural for you to feel that way because you're trying to tie up loose ends, but there's just a lot that still needs to be solved. There's still a lot that you need to work on. So this full moon in Pisces is not going to resolve all your problems. Actually, that is like the furthest thing from it. It is a full moon that you're going to just be able to overcome and be able to come out the other side still strong in your convictions of making a change in this world, speaking up. But on an emotional level, you know that there's still so much that needs to be done. There's still so much that needs to be talked about. Then we have the star. So in light of this situation, I want you to know in the star that this is a card that speaks of hope. So group number 5, in the star, I want you to know here that when it comes to this aspect of hope, when it comes to this whole sensation of feeling like there is a light at the end of the tunnel, when you are upfront and honest about your wants, your needs, as well as being able to be the innovator, the one who is first in line to make a change in this world, that gives you hope because you see how people respond, you see how people are able to change, and it inspires you to know that you can overcome trauma that you've been through, and you can overcome adversities in life and also situations that are really great, but because you have so much going on, you can't enjoy them. Have you ever had a time where you had so much opportunity, so much greatness in your life, and you wanted to enjoy it, but you just couldn't because you just had to jump from one task to the next? That is where I see here that the star really brings light, love, and hope into your life next week, group number 5, and allows you to see the glass as half full. No matter how much you have to do, no matter how stressed out you would like to be, you can still put yourself in the shoes of somebody who could only dream of the opportunities that you have, or somebody whose life goals is to, you know, have the things that you have access to internet and be able to lead the life that you live, and be able to watch these videos, for instance, and see that as a win in itself and as a driving force to continue to create opportunity for yourself as well as other people in this world. So there's a lot of humanitarian energy here, group number 5. There's a lot of philosophical energy coming from you, as well as energy of liking to confront things head on and not being shallow, and trying to end this shallow era that we're in society, in this world, in our lifetime, and move to a more meaningful place, which I think we can all agree would be great, would be something that would be much appreciated. Then next up we have the ant spirit. So the ant spirit corresponds to the number 1, and the number 1 is always the initiator. In correspondence to the ant spirit, there is collaboration in the air. There is the opportunity here for instance, in your business to collaborate with somebody to together move to the next step where you can be more financially profitable, or just overall get your name out there more. And I do see here that you will have to be the one who initiates it. So somebody might put themselves out there and reach out to you casually, but you have to be the one who kind of brings out the idea of doing business together, the idea of actually doing something in the earthly realms, working together. Just as you know, ants are constantly working, they're constantly building. You're the initiator ant, group number 5, okay? You're the one who uses their little antennas and says, hey, in this direction, this is where we're going, and then allow the others to follow, because they will. Then we have the coyote spirit. In the coyote spirit, there are some divine detours coming towards you, and it may have to do with the fact that Mercury is moving into Libra on the 5th of September, and Mercury moving into Libra is all about moving to a place of more balance as well as more understanding. And balance and understanding is essential when trusting in divine detours, because divine detours are those situations where you wanted exhibit A, but what you're actually getting is exhibit T. Okay, so while you did want exhibit A, you're being guided on a detour first through exhibit T and then to exhibit A. Okay, so you're doing a little pit stop, and you may first think like, oh my god, I'm never gonna get to A, I'm always gonna be at T, and just overall the detour is too big, I don't know how I'm ever gonna be able to get to where I actually wanted to go. But I want you to know here in the Coyote Spirit that that pit stop is necessary to make you strong for that exhibit A, for point A, okay? Because sometimes we think we're already ready for point A, for instance, being the head of a company, being the manager, the boss, being in charge of things in our love lives, and then we actually get there and we're like, oh my god, what do I do now? I have no idea what I'm doing, I just need to wing it, and I don't know. So the reason why you're being pushed into this kind of side street to take this detour is because in this side street, there are divine lessons that you are supposed to learn, okay? There are things that are going to help you be a more balanced person, leader, just overall personality. That is why I was talking about that balance that we have on the 5th of September with Mercury moving into Libra, and those lessons are imperative to be successful when you get to point A. So don't be kind of annoyed that you're taking your detour towards point T. Be excited that you're going to be really prepared for the opportunity and the success of point A through having gone through that detour that taught you so much. So group number 5, a little bit of a different type of emoji and symbol that I'm going to ask you to put into the comment section to let me know that you made it to this point of the video. Leave a little detour T, little writing, little words down below in the comment section to let me know, and also to let others know that you're excited for your detours and that you're grateful for them, and that you understand exactly why you're being put on these roads and paths that seem like detours, but actually they're just prepping you. They're actually just putting you ahead of the game. So let's move a little further into your reading. Next up, we have the Koi Fish Spirit. I absolutely love the Koi Fish Spirit group number 5. It is just such a beautiful card. I just love koi fish in general. I find them not only to be very like elegant and beautiful beings, I find them to also be beings that, without even knowing that they're expensive, without even knowing that they represent abundance, they just have that aura, right? Just like when somebody walks into the room, they don't need to wear labels, they don't need to prove themselves. There's some people where you just know they are somebody because they just have that aura of either success or wealth or spiritual enlightenment, of just beauty, where they don't have to be done up, they don't have to appear a certain way to just give you that vibe, to just fill the entire room with their presence, and also a little bit of this hierarchy that they're not trying to put out, but because they're so sure in who they are and their vibration is on such a high energetic plane that everybody just without words understands this is a person that knows what they're doing and they know who they are. So I want you to know in the Koi Fish Spirit that you have more of that energy being transferred to you, because next week it becomes so much more clear to you that there is always enough. We live in a world that is filled with abundance, but we're trained by the media and by society to constantly feel like we're living in a state of just not enough, that we're living in a state of lack, that we're living in a state where there isn't enough money to go around, or there isn't enough success or fame or whatever it is that you love to be able to be put amongst humanity in a way that we all have enough, right? But it's important for you to know that the system of lack and want that has been created has solely been done in order for us consumers to feed into this capitalism, right? To feed all of these industries that have been created just in order to fill a void that they also created. So for instance, even makeup, you know, and I wear makeup too. I like clothes that are fashionable too, if we want to call my clothes fashionable, but you know what I mean, group number 5. So I'm a consumer too, and I get it, but we need to remember that sometimes these voids aren't really voids that we have, okay? These are voids that we have been trained to have, such as needing makeup or needing certain clothes to feel good about yourself. Who projected that image that makeup meant beauty? It is an industry that capitalizes off of people wanting more beauty products, off of people like you and me feeling like without it, we're not as important or we're not as beautiful. So keep in mind that they created this image, this photoshopped image of this is how much better you can be if you buy this. This is how much more you can be if you feel like what you are and what you have is not enough and you need our thing. So that is where the koi fish spirit comes into place, right? Reminding you that there is always enough and you are always enough. You don't need the latest gadgets. You don't need the latest clothes or the newest makeup. You most likely already have enough. You most likely already have enough to choose from. Especially if you're thinking of just living with less and embarking on a more sustainable journey, this is something you should remind yourself of. These are mind games. We are completely fine, more or less, mostly, most of us, with everything that we already have in our closets, in our makeup cabinets, even in our kitchen cabinets. We don't need more food. We often have enough in our pantry that we can cook, that we can just improvise with and still live with a happy life, a fulfilled life. So keep in mind that often we are just being presented this image of, oh, you need this, you need that, when you really do not, okay? It's really just an illusion created by this industry that is just here to make money, just to capitalize off of you and I and the need and want to be loved as a human being. Then next up we have the waning gibbous 4. The waning gibbous 4 is all about beauty, and I love having the waning gibbous 4 show up in correlation to what we just spoke about, as well as the fact that on the 2nd of September, okay, in here next week, we have the full moon in Pisces, which is all about being compassionate and loving. So remind yourself that you are beautiful without products. You are beautiful without products that have been created in correlation to make you feel like you're not enough without them. Feel empowered of just being yourself. Feel empowered by not wearing makeup many days, by not wearing certain clothes. And, you know, especially if you're somebody who doesn't wear makeup anyways, because I do know I have quite a few male viewers, feel empowered in your body without feeling like you have to be a certain height or a certain width, have a certain stature, have certain clothes or a certain job or certain finances, a certain number in your bank account. You don't need that in order to feel good about yourself. You don't need that in order to know that you have enough and you are enough, and that the right people who really cherish you for who you are will not base your value and your desirability on whether you have those material things or not. Then next up we have the waxing crescent 4. The waxing crescent 4 corresponds to self-love, and the cards really do speak so well and so strongly, group number 5. I mean, self-love is something that goes without say. That is something that happens naturally when you say I am enough and I don't need these things. So know that next week is really a week for you, group number 5, that is heavy on self-love, that is heavy on going deeper, as the Epidote kind of speaks of, going deeper, going beneath the surface and understanding what type of system that we live in, how torturous it can be to be a victim to society's standards, and how we can just raise our vibration and rise above that and not even sweat it, not even allow it to phase us, group number 5. So let's move a little further in. We have health checkup, so make sure that you pay close attention to your health. Going deeper and doing this type of almost shadow work can be stressful. It can make you feel tired. It can make you feel lethargic and even give you symptoms of being a little bit sick, okay? So make sure that if you're in doubt, just go get things checked out and also nourish your body while your soul is doing such deep work. But keep in mind that opening your eyes to these things and your true beauty, independent of all of these industries that have been created to make us feel like there is lack. That is really a beautiful thing to be going through, group number 5. So honor it, but also pay close attention to your physical health and how it's making you feel. Then next up, we have positive affirmations. So group number 5, to help yourself through a time where you just have so many powerful epiphanies and revelations, keep your positive affirmations very close. So positive affirmations, if you don't know what those could be, a positive affirmation for you could be, I am brave, or I love myself, I am beautiful, I'm worthy, I am grateful. Those are all positive affirmations. Keep in mind that the most important words that you will ever hear or will ever be spoken to you are the words that you say to yourself, especially those words that come after I am, those 3 crucial, vital letters. So keep them high vibe, keep them positive, keep them in a place where you can use those affirmations to pump and hype yourself up, and also remind yourself of your worth, your self-love, your value. And that is, again, another thing that allows you to go deeper when you're able to say these positive affirmations without cringing. Group number 5, if you're still a place where you're cringing at telling yourself, I am beautiful, I am worthy, I am loved, know that you need it even more. You know, write it down, say it to yourself in the mirror, laugh at yourself, cringe at yourself until you feel like you can say it openly, proudly, and in a way that you know you mean it and you know it's real. So group number 5, we've connected so much. Your reading was really long. I truly hope that you appreciate these divine messages, and I just want you to know that I appreciate sharing this space with you and being able to guide you into your upcoming week. I hope you're staying safe, taking care of yourself. I wish you an amazing start to your upcoming week, and I'll see you in one of my other videos.